Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be testing out and reviewing the new concealer from Makeup Forever. This is their Matte Velvet 24-Hour Concealer. Now let's go over the details for this concealer. This is supposed to be a full coverage concealer that is supposed to be waterproof, sweat-proof, transfer-proof, and deliver 24 hours of wear. It is a lightweight and airy formula with a natural matte finish. It has an extra large applicator with a precision tip so that you can use it all over the face. You can use it in order to spot conceal, correct under eye circles, or to contour. And as far as what skin types this is meant for, it is meant for normal, dry, combination, and oily. So even if you have dry skin and it has a natural matte finish, you should be fine, according to the Sephora website. This concealer comes in 22 different shades. I grabbed the shade at 3.4 today, and it retails for $27 US. You get 0.30 fluid ounces worth of product, which is pretty good, and it has a shelf life of 6 months, which is pretty typical for most liquid concealers. As far as how to use it, the Makeup Forever website has a step-by-step guide. In order to conceal, you're supposed to be able to apply the amount of a grain of rice on the eye circle. That's probably going to be the least amount of product I've ever used when it comes to concealer underneath the eyes. Step 2, blend it out using your finger or their 226 brush for a smooth result. I'm going to be blending this concealer out using my Deluxe Crease brush from Real Techniques, like I usually do. Step 3, repeat under the other eye. Step 4, in order to finish, you're supposed to use their Light Velvet Air Mist spray. In order to get a matte result, for a more dewy result, you use their Mist and Fix. No need to powder for a natural look. Okay. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to be color correcting both under eye areas, especially since this does deliver a natural matte finish. I find that when I pair my matte concealers with my Becca corrector, such as like the Tarte Shape Tape, a lot of people find that concealer to be really dry, like really matte. When I pair that with my Becca corrector, I don't find that to be the case as much. Like it doesn't look as matte underneath the eyes. And so, yeah, in order to try to prevent this concealer from looking extremely dry underneath the eyes, I'm going to pair it with my Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. So just applying a little bit of this underneath both eye areas. All right, so now that I'm done correcting, I'm going to jump off camera really quickly in order to apply foundation onto the entire face, and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back. Foundation is on. We are ready for concealer. Now this is what the concealer looks like. This is shade 3.4, which is what I have. That's what it looks like after it's dried down for a little bit. Because when you first apply it, it does look a little bit lighter. Not by much, but it is a little bit lighter. So that's what it looks like when you first apply it, and this is what it looks like after a few minutes. So I think I got a pretty good shade for my complexion. All right, so remember, a grain of rice. That's what we're going to be applying underneath the eyes. So taking this, would you say that's a grain of rice? Maybe it is, I don't know. We'll just go with it. All right, and that's all I'm going to use for now. We'll see if I need to build it up. I'm going to try to build it up if I need to, because I don't know if this is going to give me enough coverage, honestly. Like, I really don't see how. But you never know. I've been surprised by concealers before, so maybe this is gonna blow me away. Let's try to blend it out. All right, so this is providing coverage, but I mean, I'm still needing a little bit more over here, you know, like I need some coverage over here. So a grain of rice for me wasn't enough for the entire under eye area. Let's try 2. Let's try 2 grains of rice. So I'm gonna put another grain over here, just like that. This is still a really small amount of concealer. Like you really don't need to, you know, swipe the whole thing underneath the eye. I think that would be a lot, like too much, way too much. So it looks like it builds up nicely, and 2 grains of rice is giving me quite the coverage. All right, now let's blend this side out. All right, I need to add another grain of rice, remember? So I'm gonna add an additional grain. And add a little bit more right there. All right, so there is the under eye area. I say this is really nice, full coverage. I'm pretty shocked. I'm pretty shocked at how much coverage this provides with such little amount of product. Now let me zoom you all in so that you can get a better look at the under eye area after initial application. All right, so this is what it looks like up close. I'd say not bad at all. It doesn't look excessively dry. I don't think I'm gonna have to set this, by the way, and it is providing a lot of coverage. All right, so there it is. I like it. I like it. I like it, and I don't think, like I said, I don't think I'm gonna have to set it. So I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup, and I will be right back. All right, so I'm back, makeup is done. It looks good underneath the eyes. It looks pretty lightweight. It's providing a lot of coverage. Anyway, it is currently 10:40 in the morning. I do plan on wearing this the entire day, of course, and I'll be coming back halfway through the day in order to test this concealer out a little bit more, since it does claim to be waterproof, and I'm not planning on sweating today, but it does claim to be waterproof and transfer proof or transfer resistant. So we're gonna test it out come midday. So yeah, I'll start my day and I'll see you all back here in a few hours for my midday check-in. Okay, so now I am back for my midday check-in. It is currently 3:24. So I've had this concealer on now for almost like 4.5 hours, almost 5, I believe. Now, before I give you my thoughts on the concealer so far, I'm going to zoom you all in so that you can get a better look underneath the eye area after 4.5 hours of wear. All right, so here it is. Not bad. Not bad at all. I really like it so far. It's still providing a decent amount of coverage. I mean, you have to consider how much we used. Very little, and it provides a lot of coverage with very little product. Still looks good underneath the eyes. It doesn't look dry. It doesn't look like it has separated or just moved around or worn off even. It looks really good. I'm still really pleased. All right, so now that you've seen everything up close, let's move on to whether or not it's transfer proof or waterproof. I have the concealer right here. So what we're gonna do is I'm taking one of my husband's white shirts, white undershirts, and I'm just gonna press it. We'll see if it transfers, all right? Let's see. Hopefully it doesn't. Oh. All right, so far that claim is true. And I say transfer, like if I rub it, of course it's gonna come off, but if you just like press up against it, it's not coming off. All right, okay. Next, the waterproof test, right? So I have a little bit of water here on one of my lids. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like, do you rub it with water? I mean, I guess it's coming off. I guess it's still there, right? It's still there. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how you test it with like water. I guess if you would like to submerge yourself and then come out, it would still be on. But if you rubbed it, maybe not. I don't know. But it's still there. So waterproof, sure. Transfer proof, definitely. It did not transfer onto the white shirt at all. So that is it for my midday check-in. I do plan on continuing to wear this concealer for about another 4 hours or so. So I will see you all back here once again at the end of the night for my final thoughts on this new Makeup Forever concealer. Okay, so now I am back for my final check-in of the day. It is 7:11, which means that I've had this concealer on now an entire day for a little over 8 hours. Now, before I get into what I think about the concealer after wearing it for an entire day, I'm going to zoom you all in one last time so that you can get a better look under the eyes after 8 hours of wear. All right, so here it is. I'm pleasantly surprised. It held up all day. It doesn't look heavy. It doesn't look dry. It's still providing amazing coverage with very little product. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed. All right, so there you have it. That is the current situation underneath the eyes after an entire day. Like I said, I'm pleasantly surprised by this concealer. I don't think that I will ever wear it for 24 hours, but it certainly held up for at least 8 for sure. It did not break up, it didn't wear off, it didn't crack, it didn't settle, and I didn't set it. Also, it doesn't look dry underneath the eyes, which I'm really glad it doesn't. I hate when concealers look super dry underneath the eyes, but I did use my Becca corrector underneath, which tends to keep my under eye area pretty hydrated, especially when I use it alongside a matte concealer. So that could have definitely helped. So keep that in mind. Also, keep in mind that I used the corrector, and that's how I achieved full coverage. I think that if I hadn't used the corrector, I probably would have needed a little bit more concealer in order to completely conceal the under eye area, but I'm glad with the way that it wore. I'm really happy with how it paired with my Becca corrector, and I will continue to use this going forward. I personally feel like you will be happy if you purchase this because you don't need a lot of product and it gives a ton of coverage. Also, keep in mind that it seems like you can build it up and it didn't settle underneath my eyes, like into my fine lines, because I did use 2 little tiny dots instead of just like the 1. I did use 2 and it seemed to build up on itself pretty nicely. So perhaps if you do need to build up coverage, you can build up coverage, but it is kind of a thicker formula. It's not as liquidy as some of my other concealers, so keep that in mind. It's a little bit more like creamy thick than liquidy thin, you know? So don't go too heavy-handed on this because you probably won't get similar results. Definitely start off light and then work your way up lightly, you know, in order to get better coverage. That would be the only thing that I would suggest you do if you are going to be using this concealer. So overall, it was a good concealer day. I can't complain. So that completes today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly hope that you enjoyed this video review and that you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on future videos. And also don't forget to follow me on Instagram, where I absolutely love to interact with you all. As always, take care, and I will see you all in my next video. Mwah! Bye.